The judges score the contest 48-46, 48-46, and 47-47 for the winner by majority decision, and still!
And still, ladies and gentlemen, the undisputed African fighting podcast champion of the world. Welcome back to Fighting with Friends. It's One Friday Fights 126 is taking place this Friday, 26th of September at 2:30 p.m. South African time. With me today, breaking down the card, the reigning, defending, undisputed vegan champion of the world, looking cut as a mofo. It is, of course, Brother Gaia, rocking that skinny rock bull. Let's go.
The Rock says, The Rock.
What's happening?
Happy to be back. Another fight week, another great fight card. Super hyped for this one, bro.
Let's go, bro. So let's get into it. PG One Friday Fights 126. We will start
at the top of the card. Let's go.
At the top of the card, we do see Ilias Ennahachi, 29 years old, number 2 ranked bantamweight kickboxing, former flyweight kickboxing champion, record in one championship, 5-0 and 2 wins by KO. Last time out, beat Hiroki Akimoto by unanimous decision. Coming up against the Mehdi of the Mehdiest, it is Nabil Anane. He is the bantamweight Muay Thai champion, record in one championship, 7-1 and 2 by KO, 1 by TKO. He is on a 7-fight streak. Last time out, beating Suablack by unanimous decision. So BG, the first of many fantastic fights to get into here, bro. So without any further ado, please give us your thoughts on this one, bro.
Absolutely. Dude, this is a crazy fight card. For Friday fights card, absolutely insane. This fight card was sold out 3 weeks ago, by the way. I think that's the first time from watching Friday fights when it started in 2021. I think this is the first time I've seen a Friday fights card that was sold out. Period. Just sold out. That's insane. So we got to give props to Mike's a little bit loud. We got to give props to one championship putting this fight card together, firstly, and also just like looking at the matchups itself. It blows my mind just to see that this is a Friday fights card and not a fight night instead. Because there's former champions on this fight card. There's title contending fighters on this fight card. There are champions on this fight card. It's absolutely insane. So yeah, this fight in particular, it stresses my brain out a little bit to kind of think about how this fight's going to play out, to be honest with you. Because I don't see a clear-cut way for either guy to win, to be honest. Like, it's so hard to pick one here. Purely because, stylistically, they're kind of evenly matched up. You know, Ennahachi and Nabil's the only 2 fighters to beat Suablack, right? And if you go watch the fights when they fought against Suablack, when Ennahachi fought Suablack, there was no excuses of I had an injury or I had a bad camp or I was this or I was that. It was a healthy Suablack. And Ennahachi went to him and took him out. Didn't knock him out, didn't take him down, anything, but basically he's won every single round in that fight. And just looked really, really dangerous. Nabil, on the other hand, he always has that trump card of being so tall, right? And being extremely lengthy and being a bit of a difficult frame for fighters to get around. Like a lot of the fighters that are very good in this division, Lobo, Kulab Dam, those guys weren't able, Nico Carrillo, have got so much power in their hands and devastating against any fighter that's their size, right, in terms of length. But when they fight against Nabil, what happens is they can't land their shots the way they would like to. It doesn't reach the same way. And I wonder if what Ennahachi is going to do to get around that. He obviously has a very good traditional style of how he moves. It's very, where is he from? Iran, Ennahachi. But he speaks highly of training out of he's Moroccan. He speaks very highly of training out of Dutch kickboxing style. He speaks highly of that. And that's what he uses. You can see it by a lot of the way he teeps, the way he attacks the legs, and the way that he moves around after each strike. It's very, very flow state heavy. But now he's going to be matched up against somebody that fights exactly the same way, but so much taller than him. You know what I'm saying? So, to me, I wonder what the game plan is going to be here, because it's basically a mirror match for Ennahachi, but someone that's a lot longer than he is. And I just find that that's going to be the biggest hurdle for him in the fight. For Nabil Anane, the biggest hurdle for him in this fight is how is he going to stop Ennahachi from being so hectic with his movement? Because Ennahachi's got fantastic footwork. he moves around. He lands like 3-4 shots and he gets out very smoothly. Even when he's in the pocket with you, he's a very evasive kind of fighter. Now, this is something I noticed about Ennahachi in his last fight against Akimoto. That was I don't know if it was a 5-round fight or if it was a 3-round fight. It was a 3-round fight. And this is what I found quite interesting in that fight. When they got to the third round, I thought Ennahachi was going to win the fight anyway. But when they got to the third round, he significantly got slower and he looked tired. And Akimoto was actually backing him up, taking him backwards and landing some big shots on him. And I thought, whoa, what's going on here? You know what I mean? I thought without a shadow of a doubt, and I rate Akimoto really highly, but I do put him just underneath the elite purely because he doesn't have that same sort of. You can go into like a Super Saiyan God mode where everything is just flow state for him, and whatever he's going to do is going to work. Akimoto does get caught out a lot in a lot of his fights because of his fight style, where Ennahachi, he can flow through a fight quite easily. But in that fight, there were signs of him slowing down significantly, and he was getting caught a lot, which is mad because he doesn't really get caught. Then the big thing also on top of that is the next fight that he had booked was against Pitch Fergus, and he couldn't make weight in that fight. That's two occasions where I saw something of like there's a chink in the armor here. He's a chink in the armor here. So I think I'm gonna go with Nabil Anane purely because he has the same fight style as Ennahachi. He has the same weapons. He uses the same weapons. This is kickboxing, not Muay Thai. So Nabil can't use his elbows, but he can still use stepping knees very well. And also the range is such a big difference that he can do certain things in positions where Ennahachi can't. So like in certain distances, Nabil can throw a knee, and when he throws that knee, he doesn't have to worry about a counter coming back at him because there's not enough. The distance is too wide for Ennahachi to close down. So in those kind of moments, that's how Nabil's been beating everybody. Is that he can throw devastating stuff in positions where he knows opponents can't actually land a counter. And I think that's going to be the key factor to Nabil's win here. It's also going to be the key hurdle for Ennahachi to get around. And if he gets away around it, right, then he proves to me why he should be fighting for a title. And I think this fight, I know beginning of when they got announced, I was like, why is this fight happening? You know what I mean? Because Nabil is the champion in Muay Thai. There is fighters that he can go up against in that division. And Ennahachi is ranked number 2 in the kickboxing division, where Haggerty is the champion. And they were talking about Haggerty versus Nabil, but then they went Ennahachi now. So it's like Ennahachi was supposed to go up against someone else, if I'm not mistaken. And now we got this fight. It's like, what's at stake here? Because there's no title on the line. What's at stake here? Nabil isn't ranked in the division when it comes to kickboxing. He's outside of the top 5. So what's at stake here? Winner gets what? Shot at Haggerty. You know what I mean? So I think that's what's at stake in this fight. But yes, I think for Ennahachi, the ways to get around that height discrepancy is not to chase the head, maybe attack the sternum more often, or lots of body shots and lots of leg shots. Because Nabil has showed me in the past he doesn't kick leg kicks very well. So if you can attack the legs a lot, attack the body a lot, it might be a way to get around and get through that defensive ease. But very tough one to pick. Isn't it just ever so slightly towards Nabil? Just ever so slightly.
He is a tough puzzle to figure out. Nabil, he's on, like I mentioned, on a 7-fight win streak. So yeah, I do agree that if Ilias is able to get the job done here, we got to start talking title shots.
Absolutely.
PG, any final thoughts on this one before we move on, bro?
Yeah. Again, just a brilliant main event. But I think it's safe to say that the winner here definitely puts themselves in the position to fight for that kickboxing world title. And I think what One Championship is trying to bank on here is that even Nabil beats Ennahachi, who's ranked number 2, and Nabil's not in the top 5, he jumps the line, and then they can go champ versus champ. You know what I mean? Nabil versus Haggerty. But then they can't put Nabil's title on the line because it's not the same discipline, obviously. But I mean, you can sell it as champ versus champ kind of situation. You know what I mean? I think that's what they're kind of banking on here. So that's my final thoughts on that one. I think the winner is definitely books their ticket to take on UK's finest.
Let's go, PG. Give thanks. And just a reminder, Brother Guy is still 85% for Friday Fights picks, getting 100% on the parlay on Friday Fights 1 to 5. So drop a like on the video, please, ladies and gentlemen. It really helps us out a lot. And let us know your thoughts in the comments if you agree with Brother Guy, or hopefully you have a different take. We'd be very interested to hear those. Maybe you're edging it for Ilias Ennahachi. We do have
Please.
Shadow making a very quick turnaround here, making his kickboxing debut, I believe, coming up against Liu
Mm,
Mengyang. Shadow is 25 years old. Record in one championship is 6-1-0. He's got one win by KO, two wins by TKO. He's on a 6-fight streak. Last time out beating Pampara Kuyate by second round TKO with that vicious spinning back fist. He's coming up against Liu Mengyang, who is 1-1 in one. He last time out losing to Mohamed Siasadan by split decision in his last fight. He has, however, beat Masaki Nohiri in his previous bout. So BG, very excited for this one. What a treat that we get to see
mm,
Shadow once again stepping in, I must say, for the unfortunate Tawanchai. But yeah,
yeah.
BG, this isn't Muay Thai, so how do you see Shadow faring here against think someone who probably has a bit more kickboxing experience than he does at the highest level. So
Yeah.
fascinating contest here, BG. Give us your thoughts, please, sir.
Absolutely fascinating contest. And I have said it in the past, and I'll say it again. I do feel very hesitant to give the win to a Thai fighter when they're going into kickboxing, especially a Thai fighter that is largely not this is dependent, but their biggest weapons or path to victory is usually when they're using their elbows. And Shadow is one of those kind of fighters. If you watch his style, he's got good punching combinations and good punching knockouts, but you will watch him when there was a decision win for him. You will notice that Shadow has a tendency to put fighters against the ropes and keep it within that close quarters combat where elbows can be the cause of certain damage. He loves to fight in close, and also the knees is a big thing for Shadow as well. Rajan Chai is another example. I know he's the champion, but he's another example of it where if you watch him fight Muay Thai and watch him fight kickboxing, you'll be like, is this the same fighter? Like it's so different. It's such a massive difference in how they fight because now the paths to using get to a victory is so different. And I think Shadow, I'm more interested to see what he looks like in the bigger gloves and not being able to use elbows and clinch knees. Like what does he look like there? And also Liu Mengyang, his biggest attributes is his boxing. He doesn't really have the best kicks in the world. He's got good enough kicks, like good enough tips, good enough calf kicks to maybe maintain distance, maybe to set up something. He's very good at that. But you will notice that Li Mingyang, when he does go and put pressure on an opponent and try to get him out of there, it's pure boxing. He just wants to box with you. And he's good at it. He's got very good boxing techniques as well. So I just think that if the fight goes past the first or second round, I'm gonna have to probably give it Liu Mingyang just because the discipline favors him. And he did. If you look at the loss against Mohamed Sisarani, that was a split decision, if I'm not mistaken, right? That was a close fight, bro. And we both watched it again. And I think if my memory serves me well on live. You went with Sisarani and I went with Liu Mingyang in that fight, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know if Sisarani actually won this fight." Like he switched up to his southpaw and fought southpaw in that fight, but Mingyang was really coming on very strong around 2 and 3 in that fight, and let the boxing work. And he had Sisarani backed up a lot. In a fight against Masaki no Iri, it was more of the same. He was just pretty much staying active and lots of movement, lots of boxing, which didn't allow him really to settle, right? So that could be the same case here. Yang could be the one that uses a lot of footwork and stays on the outside and jabs a lot and gets the boxing combinations going, and then suck Shadow into those kind of situations, which will favor Liu Mingyang. I purely think if this was a Muay Thai fight, Shadow would smoke him within 20 seconds, but it's not that. So, like, what Shadow's weapon's going to be this time? You know what I'm saying? Like, is he going to use that deep to set up his boxing combinations? Is he just going to go in there and bang him and walk him down and just, throw leather like he normally does? Because Shadow is a very methodical fighter. He doesn't really just, stand and bang. He doesn't just go in there and brawl with you. He's a very, very selective kind of fighter. He chooses when and what to do at what situations. And Ming Yang is the kind of fighter that doesn't let fighters settle. You know what I mean? He doesn't just stand there and take pictures. He's the one that's negotiating or negating the movements. He's like, okay, we're going here, we're going here, we're going there. That's Ming Yang. So it's a very much a style that can trouble Shadow. And also the quick turnaround time that you mentioned earlier is a big factor here, bro. A big factor.
Mm.
The only thing that will maybe help them out in these fighters here is that it's a Friday fights card. So we don't get to see a live weigh-in. We don't get to see a live hydration and weigh-in test. So there could be a way that fighters could get around it because there's no cameras on them in this moment. You know what I mean? The weigh-ins is just going to happen backstage. So that could maybe help and give the fighters a little bit of chance, like Shadow, to maybe come in a little bit heavier and still get away with it. I don't know, but I'm just more intrigued to see what he looks like. Granted, that fight against Pampara, he took 0 damage in that fight. And he ended the fight quite early. So yeah, I want to deep down. I want to say Shadow for the win. I just don't know how he gets it done in the bigger gloves. That's the only thing, man. And also, you're taking away his best weapons. That worries me. And Liu Mengyang is a very good kickboxer. I'm still gonna go with Shadow though. Final thought. I'm still gonna go with Shadow, right? Even though it's not his discipline, just because Liu Mengyang, he was a champion in the amateur days, and I looked at his Tapology records as well, and I saw a lot of his. I looked at his list of fights, and he actually has a 50-50 split between winning and losing. So it's, you know what I mean. Where Shadow is on a tear, but he just got himself 50 Gs, basically title contention now, and 25 years old, taking no damage on a 6-fight win streak. It's like, you know what I mean? My dude is basically on cloud 9 at this point. I mean, he can sneeze and knock out Liu Mengyang in that fight. That's how he is at this moment in his career. So I'm gonna favor the fighter with the momentum. But I am wary about it just because it's not Shadow's primary discipline. So I think he
Fair
wins a
comment.
decision.
Lots of fair comment there, I think, BG. And ladies and gentlemen, you know where that comment section is. Let us know your thoughts about this one. We have some 140 pounds Muay Thai coming up against Anta Kasim. We'll go to some numbers and we'll see that Muay Thai is 31 years old. Record in one is 10-4. So been around the block. 2 wins by KO, 1 win by TKO. He is on a 3-fight streak. Last time out beating Seksan by unanimous decision. His opponent Anta Kasim is 26 years old. He's 6-3-0 3 wins by KO, 4 wins by TKO. Last time out beating Panrit by second round KO. So BG, another great fight here. Another great fight on the cards. Another one where we're really expecting some fireworks here. So yeah, give us your thoughts on this one, bro.
Bro, look at this matchup. Are you mad? Like, this is a fight. Pardon me. This is a fight where someone's gonna get KO'd. I'd be very surprised if this fight goes the distance. I'm pretty sure the betting odds is saying fight to go the distance, double or triple your money, because I don't think it's gonna go the distance, to be honest with you. Who's gonna win? My favoritism is saying Muay Thai, but my logical brain is telling me nah, Anta Kasim has got the tools to wipe him out. He's taller, fights very well with his range. He's got fancy combinations. You know what I mean? He's just got all the advantages in this fight. But, and it's a major but, right? What happens when Anta Kasim gets put up against the rope and he gets caught in a clinch? And that's what Muay Thai loves to do. He loves to stay in the clinch. He loves the elbow. He loves to just put the foot down on the floor and just march right through you. And that's the kind of fight style that Muay Thai does. I just don't know if that's the style that it's going to, like, if it's going to get through the defense of Anta Kasim. You know what I mean? Because he's so much taller, dude. It's actually wild to see how much taller he is than Elbow Zombie. I would love to see Elbow Zombie fight in flyweight, to be honest with you, at 135 rather than 140. To see him fighting at 140 is actually no, that is technically still within the flyweight bantamweight range. He's mixing between the two, and I'm thinking maybe if he actually just goes down where it's more his height, we have a better chance here, because when he's sticking in the bantamweight division, dude, these guys are massive here. And I think Anta Kasim's style is the kind of style that puts Muay Thai in trouble. You know what I mean? It's that Dutch European kickboxing style where it's like a lot of combinations, high volume, lots of flowingness, sharp uppercuts, things coming from different angles, right? And then Muay Thai is not that. Muay Thai is the one that's, head down, blast a lot of overhands, then gets you up against the ropes, and then it's like elbow, knee, elbow, and just like breaks you down like that over the course of the fight. And he can do that, but like he's gonna have to survive the hardest round of all the rounds, and that's the first round. When it comes to facing someone like Anta Kasim, you and I both seen him. Kasim looks devastating in that first round. Like people struggle to get around him in that first round because he's so fast and sharp, right? But then he gets tired. Like Jonathan as well. They get tired in the second round, and when you hit the body with something hard, you see them stop. You see them stop moving. Same with the overhand. And in the third round, they're even slower, but they can still be very dangerous. They can get you with a spin or some shit like that. So yeah, Zombie's gonna have to be literally at peak performance here to actually get the job done because yeah, Antakasim is a sharpshooter, bro, and he's like I said, he's the most dangerous in that first round. So I can see a world here where Antakasim wins first round KO. I can definitely see that happening, and that's probably where my mind's going to. But if it doesn't get Muay Thai out of there in the first round, I see Muay Thai basically just mortalizing him two rounds after that and winning the fight in decision, or maybe even taking him out in the third round. Because I've seen I've seen Antakasim lose in the later rounds, like getting stopped. I've seen it before. So I'm gonna go with Antakasim here. I'm gonna go with him here. He's on a good streak. He has leveled up. He's looked a lot better. Muay Thai, he's been around the block for some years. He's fought Wuzu, also on a very good win streak. But I just think he's gonna be matched up against someone that's gonna be too fast and too tall for him, and also the movement's gonna be too much. So I'm gonna go Antakasim to get maybe an early finish here.
Fair play, BG, fair play. Speaking of being around the block, we do have Seksan coming up here. He is 10-3-0 in one championship, one win by KO, two by TKO. He's on a 2-fight slide. Last time out, losing to the aforementioned Albo Zombie Muay Thai by unanimous decision. He's coming up against Suablack, Mr. Serious Business himself, and the title run has well and truly begun, ladies and gentlemen. 7-3-0, 3 wins by KO, 1 by TKO last time out, beating Sangatit by unanimous decision in his last fight. So shout out to any Sua sexuals that we have watching. Definitely looking forward to this one. High level Muay Thai on the cards here. And yeah, just really two game fighters here. And like I said, Seksan been around the block. Does he still have another fight in him? Especially against someone who is seemingly as hungry as Suablack is at the moment, PG. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, again, another matchup that will definitely bring the crowd, dude. It'll definitely bring the fans, and this is another fight that's definitely a fan favorite kind of fight or matchup, purely because of who it is, right? I mean, Suablack is basically looked like he's turned his career around after going through a couple of bad losses. And then Seksan only now recently starting to take losses, bro. And that's mad to say because the man before this, when he already did his record at 10-3 in one championship, I was like, yo, only 3 losses in 13 fights. That's pretty good, dude. That's pretty good stuff. And he's still not even contracted, right? And he's coming to the organization as a champion. Fought Rodang twice. Like the dude's been there and like done that. And you know, he's an absolute legend. Look at that jacket. Absolute legend. But this fight in particular is very interesting to me because Seksan doesn't really get KO'd. He gets dropped a few times. I mean, who was the person that KO'd him? It was Asa Power, right? That was the only guy that was able to take him out. Everyone else was able to rock him every so now and then, but never really able to put him down. Suablack has got very good devastating left hooks, left straights, hard left kicks. You know, we saw what he did in his last fight, throwing rolling thunders and just looking like he's found his weight class, and he's like, you know, he's now basically at that point of suitable for his weight. Because I think you mentioned that his weight cuts before were so devastating for him that's why he was getting KO'd so easily. So yeah, let's see what this rejuvenated Seksan, Suablack looks like. I just don't know. I'm just keen to see what Suablack's gonna do here because he can fade. You know, he looks very good in that third round and against Sankatit. Sankatit came on very strong against him. Let's be honest here. It wasn't a whitewash. You know, he won the fight, but he had to also evade a lot of stuff and he was on the back foot a little bit in that third round. And Seksan doesn't take a back foot. The man doesn't go backwards. You know,
He yields to no one.
He yields to no one. You can see even when he takes a shot from somebody and it rocks him. What does he do? He fucking walks forward and he starts smashing. He doesn't cover up and go, oh, I just got punched and let me stay away and regather my thoughts. The man goes, and he just starts coming at you again. Like you tune him on when you hit him. So I'm just interested to see what Suablack does about that. You know what I mean? Because I don't know if he's gonna be able to KO Seksan here. Granted, Seksan has slowed down. The man's 36 years old, right? What 36? And he has showed us signs of being less durable in his last couple of fights. Alba Zombie hurt him a few times in that fight. We watched it together and we're like, yo, look here, what's happening to Seksan? Still didn't get knocked out in that fight, by the way, but he was taking damage. And I didn't. In my opinion, I think Black hits a little bit harder than Muay Thai. So yeah, I don't know. My mind is telling me that Seksan's the overwhelming pressure might slow Black down, and then he might catch Black in the later rounds with that. You know what I mean? Because he can still be Black still gets caught with stuff. He's not. He doesn't. It's not a kind of fighter where he doesn't get hit by things. He still gets hit by things. So, and now it's back in the 4-ounce gloves. Now it's not kickboxing anymore. So, it changes the whole dynamic again for Suablack. So I'm hoping that he gets the job done. I really do, and I'm gonna go with Suablack because he's in the momentum. He's on the rise. He's rejuvenated, and I think it looks like he's got that locked-in eyes at the moment where he's trying to actually accomplish something big here. So I'm gonna go Suablack, but on decision though. I don't see him stopping Seksan just because Seksan doesn't get stopped. But he does get out. He does get out. What's the word? Out volumed normally, and that's how he loses fights. So I think Black will out volume him.
Yeah, I mean it's a very possible prospect, I would say, BG. But I'm gonna go for a Suablack KO here by Rolling Thunder. Let me know in the comments. Where my Rolling Thunder Sua sexuals at? Let me know in the comments. Because I mean, we like we said, Seksan is slowing down. He has been finished now, so that kind of like aura that he had about him. I mean, his name is the man who yields to no one. Got finished, So definite cracks are start to appear in the armor there. So I'm looking for Suablack simply because of what you said, the momentum coming into the fight and what he's trying to do here. I think that's going to drive him to get a spectacular finish here. But let us know in the comments your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen. BG, do you have any final thoughts on this?
Yeah, no, this is definitely a fan favorite kind of matchup. This is like, you want to tune into this. It's like a top tier football team against another top tier football team. You really want to watch something like this. So let's hold our patience down for the night. But I can't wait. But I do believe that Suablack is at that stage. You can see by his interviews as well. He's revamped or rewired the way he thinks now. Because the man was about to retire last year. He was about to say, "I'm hanging up the gloves, guys." So and now he's back. So I think he's rewired the way he's thought about the sport now, and we're gonna see definitely a rejuvenated Suablack.
A rematch up next, BG. Alessio Malatesta versus PTT. You were talking a little bit about this one just before we went on air. Alessio Malatesta is 23 years old. His record in one championship is 3-3-0, 2 by KO, 1 by TKO, last time out losing to IQ 1000, your IQ by unanimous decision. PTT, 27 years old, 0-1-0 in one championship, lost to Elis Abdelali by split decision in his last fight. And you mentioned to me off air that these guys go all the way back to the Thai Fight League.
Yeah.
And they threw down there, and it was quite a spectacle. So, let us know once again your thoughts on this one, bro.
Yeah, again, Alessio Malatesta, if you remember correctly, if you've tuned into the show for quite some time, I've mentioned this is a young prospect. He's something to keep an eye on, especially for the bantamweight division. He's something to keep locked in because he's only 23 years old. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see him compete along with the IQs and them, going forward. But for PTT, I wasn't that impressed with the performance when he debuted in one championship, and that was the first time I watched him fight. And there was so much hype around him coming into the fight, into the organization. That's all you saw on one championship's news on X. When you type in PTT for one championship, that's all you see is people just hyping him up. And then he goes and loses to someone that no one has ever heard of. It's like, what the hell? And he's the champion from the Thai Fight League, right? He's been wiping out people there. Watching back their first fight because I had to, because I didn't even know they fought before, so I had to go and check it out. And I was surprised to see that it was a Thai Fight League fight because they don't have the gloves. It's just the wraps, right? And bro, what a fight! What an absolute fight! Again, I'm gonna say it now. Just like the US fans when they looked at Joshua Van, they were like, "Oh, this guy is so good. He doesn't get hurt. He's so durable." Da, 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 da. They just don't bleed the same way, but they definitely getting hurt. And PTT in this fight didn't wear the damage the same way that Alessio Malatesta did. Because Malatesta, you could see the blood on the nose, there's a cut on his eye. Um, but the way that he was cracking PTT in this fight with the left hooks and the left straights and then the knees, the elbows when they were in the clinch, the way he went body shot and came up again with the right. Dude, he was cracking PTT. We rocked him a few times in the fight. PTT didn't rock Malatesta, but he did drop him in the second round with a good elbow. Dropped him, and he got back up, made the count, and then they went to town on each other again and again. PTT, Malatesta held his own. I'm gonna say this: he did lose the fight, but we have to take into account when they fought this fight. Malatesta was 20 years old, and PTT was 25. You could see significantly that he was an older man taking on a guy who just turned 20. Like he was a teenager just a few months ago. So you could see that the body types were like, this guy is so much younger. So I'm keen to see if he's going to be durable enough to take PTT shots. And bro, he was more than durable. PTT was throwing a lot of the Leon Edwards combo. So it was a right high kick, followed up right straight immediately. And he was spamming that a lot. And Malatesta was able to get around it. He was able to move around it, get his counters in there, and back PTT up. If anything, he earned a lot of respect in that fight from PTT because PTT thought he was going to bully him. And Malatesta was like, nah, dude, you're going to get my respect here. And I like the combination with Malatesta where he throws this uppercut straight, beautiful but when he steps off the angle to do it. So when PTT comes forward and throws that right high kick, he blocks it, steps towards the high kick where the leg's going backwards, uppercut left straight, bang, and I'm like, it lands every single time because he's thrown it when PTT has to recoil or come back. You know what I mean, to his stance, and in that moment when he's coming back into defense, Alessio catches him with something, bang. I'm like, nah, liquor. So I'm very interested to see how the second fight's gonna look. Purely because the other guy was able to knock each other out, and they were fighting him technically, it's basically like bare knuckle. You know what I mean? It's just wraps. That's all they had on. So you basically could knock anyone out a lot easier than the 4-ounce or the 12-ounce gloves. So I'm very interested to see how the second fight's gonna look, just because the first one was so close, and I gave it to PTT, but like razor close, like a split decision close, man. It was razor close. So I'm gonna give this second fight a Malatesta, just because the one who loses often has a better chance to correct stuff, to get the win back. And also PTT's performance in this first fight, I'm gonna use that as an example because I thought that was his time to show the global stage of who PTT is. I mean, he had Super Saiyan Blue for God's sakes, and he still fought so shit. So I'm very keen to see what he's gonna do differently to like really win over the fans this time. Not just the Thai, because he's got the Thai fans. Now it's the global fans that's watching you as well. And Malatesta has been in one championship already. He's already got a fan base. People didn't know what his buzz is all about. So I'm gonna go with Malatesta because I want him to win. But I can also see a world where there's a high percentage chance that PTT wins this fight on decision again. And he's probably going to be the favorite as well. If you go check the odds, that he's going to win the fight on decision as well. But I'm going to be hopeful here and say Malatesta actually puts up a dog fight here and gives the judges a headache. Maybe even winning the fight, clearly. Because for me, I thought he stood up very well against PTT, and he was much younger then. You know what I mean? PTT also was much younger, but seeing the PTT on his debut was like, is this the guy that everyone was raving about? Like, is this really the performance that everyone's raving about? Now, I will give him benefit of the doubt. He lost his first 2 fights, and now he's the champion. So I will give him that benefit of the doubt. But this is a guy you had fought already. That took you to a very, very close decision win. So, yeah, let's see what happened. Let's see who's done the best growth since their last fight. But I'm going to go Alessio Malatesta.
Yeah, but speaking of razor close, and 2 other guys who have also met before, quite recently at One Friday Fights 120, and they are once again fighting here in the flyweight division. It is, of course, Suablack and Pompet. Suablack is 30 years old, record in 1 championship, 8-5-0. He's got 3 wins by KO, 2 by TKO. He's on a 2-fight streak, and he's coming up against his previous opponent, in Pompet, who is 27 years old, 5-4-0, 2 by KO, 1 by TKO. Of course, losing to Yodlik Bet by split decision in the last fight. So this one really got the gums flapping, BG. Lots of controversy surrounding the result and really dividing opinion, which eventually resulted in Uncle Charlie saying this one has to be run back as soon as possible. And you'll be all once again. So, BG, over to you, sir.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I think the reason why the fight's been run back is because the fan base caused an uproar. Had an uproar purely because the result was bullshit. I'm gonna call it what it is. It was an absolute bullshit result. We know that. Everyone, even Yodek Pet, knew he lost that freaking fight, bruh. And as Mandy said, 120, which means it was literally 5 weeks ago when these guys fought. So now we have a run back, and Pompet won that fight, bruh. I thought my biggest thing for him was how is he going to mitigate power? How is he going to get away from those power shots that Yodek Pet has, right? Because Yodek Pet's style isn't very complex. You know what I mean? It's a lot of like the stockiness, walks you down, plus a hard inside kick, dance, hard inside kick, dance, and then once he notices that you uncomfortable and you're against the ropes, now we're gonna just stand and bang do it. And the other pick usually counts himself in favor of that because of his durability and also because of his power. He knocks people out very easily. But Pompet was wise to this and he was able to get around it, and he was using a lot of elusive movement and also staying on the front foot and countering Yodek to the point where he was like damaging him, bro, like putting it on him. For 2 rounds, round 2 and round 3 is what he lost the first round, but he won round 2 and 3. I just thought, don't know how you could score that fight to Yodek, but he didn't win any of it. And also when he was on the back foot, in terms of counter striking, he wasn't that successful with it. He wasn't actually landing that cleanly on Pompet. So yeah, look at that face. That's not a face of like, so I won. That's a face of like, oh my gosh, I won. You know what I mean? That's what that looks like to me. And then we watched it live also. His action was big. He thought he lost that fight. So here we are, rematch. And I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Yodek Pet's going to be able to do anything different. I don't. You saw what you saw in that fight is what you get from Yodek Pet. What I saw from Pompet was a fighter that leveled up himself. He looks a lot more better than what I saw in the past in terms of like he was always good at volume. He was always good at trickiness in terms of how he's able to pull people's fighters' weapons out to them and then countered it, right? But but in the past, you could clip Pompet and drop him. You could get him hurt really badly. This fight, when he fought against Yodek in that first fight, I saw someone that leveled up their durability, someone that leveled up their patience, and also the shot selection. So I think Pompet's going to get him out today, bro. I think this time it's going to be a stamp kind of fight where it's not going to go to the judges. And even if it does, it's going to be unanimous this time. I don't think it's going to be a split decision again. And Yodek Pek, all he can really do is knock you out, bro. That's like his best thing. He's like, you know that he's not going to try and try and kick you to death. He's not going to kick your calves broken and then watch you limping and now he knows you fucked. He doesn't do that kind of stuff. He's not going to tip your wind out of you. Yodek Pek's the kind of guy that wants to take your head off. So he's going to walk you down and punch you as hard as he can. And that's the kind of style that in this fight, it was to his detriment because Pompet was wise to it. And I think that's what's going to happen again here. You felt him. You felt his power. You know what he's like. You've seen what he can do. You counted what he was able to do in the first fight. You should have won the first fight. But now you got a second chance to prove to the world again why you can actually beat him and make a stamp this time. So I think I'm gonna go with Pompet, dude. I don't. Other than being stopped, I don't see him losing the fight any other way. So I'm gonna go Pompet, unless it's bad judging again in the night.
Which is always a possibility. But we'll keep an eye out for that, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know your thoughts once again in the comments. And if you are still watching, please like the video. Again, it really does help us out so much. But yeah, the squad is extremely deep because next up we have some strawweight Muay Thai. It is the legend Sam A, over 400 fights, coming up against the highly prospect or the highly very hype fighter coming out of Myanmar. It is Toilan Tet. Sam A is 41 years old. He's 9-4-0 in one championship, 4 by KO, 2 by TKO. Last time out, he lost to Jonathan Haggerty by unanimous decision, but was on a 2-fight streak before that. Toilan Tet is 5-1 in one championship. He's got 2 wins by KO, 1 by TKO. He's on a 4-fight streak. Last time out, dismantling Chalk Preacher by TKO. So yeah, very excited for this one, BG. It's gonna be a hell of a test here for Talented to really see if he is that technical as we think he is. The durability, of course, is not in doubt. But yeah, Sam is a different animal, bro. And 41 years old doesn't tell the story about the capabilities of this man. So
Yeah.
yeah, bro, fascinating one coming up here. Who gets it done and why, bro?
Dude, this is like your favorite fighters fighting each other here right now. Like, if you think about the guys that you've raved about, it's been Sam A and Toilented. So, yeah, dude, I'm intrigued by the matchup because you got this young stud in Toilented, 22 years old, wiping everybody out in a very magical kind of way. He's doing things that fighters are like, what the hell is this? What's happening? You know what I mean? The spinning back elbows and the way he throws them, the stance that he has, this very long, high guard, straight back kind of stance. Doesn't bring his shoulders or his elbows in. None of that nonsense. It's just a lot of high guard. And I was like, yo, this style can be beaten pretty easily. But the way that he's wiping everybody out, it seems like people don't know how to get around it. And Sam A is the kind of fighter that's got so much experience. He should be able to get around this. You know what I mean? He's got what strawweight and flyweight title, kickboxing and Muay Thai. He's done it all, right? He's held the championship already. And you said it now, over 400 fights. So he must have been able to have seen this before. He must have fought against so many Myanmar guys in the past. So I'm sure he's got a way to get around it, right? But here's the big thing. Toilentet is not your natural sized strawweight. He's like Alif them. They're pretty tall. And unlike Alif, Toilentet is a little bit stockier. He's got the height and he's got the durability and the pull to actually take shots. Like he's got the tissue there to be able to handle it. What the hell's that on screen? Sorry. There's like a weird scribbling thing on Sam A. It's just distracted me for a second. But yeah, this is the kind of fight where Sam A should be able to go into his bag of tricks, into his bag of experience, and get around this fight, right? And get around Toilentet. But how? What is he gonna do? Right? Is he gonna attack the legs? He's gonna attack the calves. He's gonna attack the teeth. Because we know that Sam A sharp with that boxing. He's got a very mean body kick on him as well. Mean body kick on him. But when he fought against JDB in his last fight, he didn't have a sniff. You know what I mean? He couldn't even land a single thing. He couldn't assert any sort of weaponry to reel the fight back into his favor. Now I know that Toilentet is not a JDB. I know that that's not the same level. But Toilentet is on a massive momentum shift right now. He's really like beating everybody. Chokpricha is no joke, bro. This guy's also knocking people out. He beat Kritpet before that as well. Yotkiti, Rocky, knocking these guys out pretty easily. He only lost to Brazil, who's also a very good fighter, by the way. Who just basically outstruck him in that fight, but didn't really put him away. But Toilentet, he's so crafty. You could catch Sam A with the spinning back elbow, and when Sam A comes in close, because Toilentet isn't the kind of fighter that's going to do what Sam A does, where it's like, you know, when for example, we see our champions fight, right? When they in their flow state, they don't really hunt for the KO. They hunt for the like, I want to dominate you. So they're gonna back you up and keep you there, and they're gonna, you know, just basically wet blanket you in the same way wrestlers do, but in stand up. So they're gonna keep you there. They're gonna pop out stuff, and they're gonna kick you in the calf and just throw random selection of combinations. But it's random to the fighter that's getting hit. It's not random by the champion who's throwing it. And Sam A does that. If you watch how Sam A, when he knocked out what's that dude's name that basically got slept badly? Akram Hamadi, right? We knocked him out. Think about what he did to Akram in that fight. He basically he walked him down and kept him in a position where he can't move away, and Sam is just tagging him, and then went and set up a 1-2, stops him, right? I don't know if that works against Toilentet. Because Toilentet is crafty in those defensive positions. When you get him backed up, that's when he's actually super dangerous. You can catch Toilentet a little bit better when you have him walking you down. You know what I'm trying to say? It's like, if I can find a good analogy here, he's more dangerous when he's on the defense than he is when he's on the offense. When you give the steering wheel to Toilentet, say, okay, yeah, you drive. He's gonna be like, how do I change the gear? But if you put him up in the corner and you force him to just fight instinctively, that's when Toilentet catches you, bro. He catches you with some really crazy stuff. So it's kind of tipping itself into the favor of Toilentet. You know what I mean? The height discrepancy, the weapons of choice, the devastation in terms of in fighting defense and offense. And also Sam A, he's always going to be a good test, I think, at this stage in his career. I think ever so Sam A at maybe 30 years old, I don't know if Toilentet can even touch him. You know what I'm saying? But I mean, it's a much older Sam A now, and he's resorted to a select few of weapon choices as opposed to what he was like in the past. So I just don't know if those select weapon of choices is going to be able to get through Toilentet. I'm going to go Toilentet just because I think he's a lot more craftier in terms of how you can get Sam A out of there. The advantages as well is heavily in his favor. Sam A is not tallest strawweight, whereas Toilentet could easily make a run for flyweight if he wanted to. So I'm gonna go Toilentet for the win here.
Fascinating contest on the cards there, ladies and
Yeah.
gentlemen. Drop us a comment. Let us know your thoughts. But we'll go to 140 pounds kickboxing now. We have Sangatit coming up against Ali Kayonku. Sangatit is 21 years old, 1-1. Last time out, he lost to Suablack, but did beat Super Ye Chan before that by unanimous decision. Ali Kayonku is 24 years old. He's 1-0 in one championship. Last time out, beating Yota Shigemori by unanimous decision. Over to you, brother Gaia.
Oh, wait. Before I start, I just wanted to get your pick for the Sam A Toilentet fight.
I was thinking about it, like honestly, that's one of the picks that you've made on the show tonight that I was like, I'm not too sure about that one because, again, I do think Sam A would have seen this before, and
Yeah.
that's not something that goes with age. But
Mm.
I do. Toiletet is on a great run, Brian. He's looking very good. But I think if there's somebody that can derail that hype train, I think it is Sam A, bro. So I'm actually going to go Sam A to get it done here, bro, by unanimous decision over 3 rounds.
Let's go.
But yeah, let us know your thoughts in the comments there, ladies and gentlemen. BG.
Okay, so yeah, let's get back to the preview. Sangatit versus Ali Kuyonku. I think this is going to be a brawl. I really think this is going to be a brawl. If you watched Ali's fight and also his other fights outside of one championship, this guy, he's the kind of fighter that like he goes in there to be kill or be killed. You know what I mean? Oh, I'm sorry, I just looked at the moon right now. It's absolutely gorgeous. Ali Kuyonku is the kind of fighter that it's high pace, man. It's high volume, high pace. We're not going to slow down here. We're going to look at each other and then weigh down a minute of the clock. And then we're going to throw a strike. It's none of that shit. He just goes in there, pedal to the middle, and just goes, bro. Just goes hard. And that's Sangatit as well. You watch Sankatit's fights in one championship, the one he lost against Suablack, and the one he beat Super Yanchan. And both those fights were high pace. It wasn't a slow fight. These guys were going bang, just toe to toe, dick to dick, nipple to nipple, all kinds of madness, bro. Like that's how fast, that's how intense Sangatit is. I think this fight's gonna make a lot of car crashes. I'll be very surprised if one of these guys end up being methodical here. I'll be very surprised, just because of their styles, the way that they are doesn't make for those kind of fights. And they're gonna meet in the middle, and I'm gonna favor Sangatit ever so slight. I'm favoring him because I think he's more durable. I think he's powerful. He trains with Rodtang regularly. I mean, it's his brother-in-law. Trains with him regularly, and his sister, Sankatit's sister, is a champion for RWS and in Thai Fight League, and she trains Rodtang, bro. So that's why he's surrounded by champions, trained by champions, and he fights really well. Sometimes, to a degree, he overly relies on his durability, and that's when he gets caught. I mean, Suablack was able to expose that in the fight. It was like this guy puts his hands down a bit too much. Suablack was tagging him a lot. And I'm pretty sure if that was 4-ounce gloves, Suablack would have probably gotten him out of there with those shots. But because it was bigger gloves, he could take it. This is 4-ounce, though. This is also bigger gloves. It's kickboxing. So I'm going to still favor Sangatit, bro. I think he's the more powerful guy. I think he's got the range also on him. It's just a matter of how is he going to deal with this, with the movement, because Ali doesn't stand still. He moves around a lot. Doesn't just go in a straight line. And he's also hyper aggressive in the way that he fights. So that may or may not favor Ali. Could either favor him or it could be, you could get counted for something big here. But I'm gonna go with Sangatit. I'm gonna go with him just because I think he's the more durable guy and he hits harder. So I expect him to get the job done here. And also Ali, how do I put this? Ali doesn't bring a thing where you can say, like, for example, you look at Takeru or Noiri, you're like, okay, you have to watch it for the calf kicks, you have to watch it for the body shots because they're going to put you out with that kind of stuff. That's the style that they bring. Or Muay Thai, you have to watch it for the clinch and the elbows. For Ali, it's like there isn't one thing you go, okay, he's good at this. This is like his key weapons. You know what I'm saying? There's none of that. He's just a well-rounded guy. He's just a very good, well-rounded guy. There's not much that he's going to give Sankati to worry about other than that. You know, he's better than the average Joe. Usangatit, he has very good weapons, coached really well, and just super, super strong and durable. So I think that's gonna carry him through the fight. Probably win the fight, either by a second round KO or a 3 round decision.
Give thanks, Brother Gaia. Brother Gaia there with all the insights that you need. Someone who we don't really quite have the insights on, however, is Win Huang Fi. Brother Gaia spent his afternoon watching some table tennis, trying to find some tape on this guy. So really tough
Bro,
one there. So if you know anything about this guy, please let us know in the comment section. We really appreciate any insight here. Not much that needs to be said about Jonas Anane. He is, of course, the brother of Nabil Anane, who is main eventing this card. He has made his debut in one championship, beating Liu Junchao by unanimous decision. And his opponent, Win Huang Fi, is making his debut here. So I guess we'll talk more or mostly here about Jonas Anane. Maybe you could tell us or just remind the people your thoughts on his debut and how you think he's gonna fare. Because I mean, again, there's not really too much we can say about his opponent. But PG, whatever you got here, we'll be very grateful to you, bruh.
yeah. Again, like you said, nothing I can say really on. Is it Wing Wang Fi?
Here we go.
Yeah. Again, just hard to find information on the guy. So I wish I could see some kind of fight video so I know what his style is like. Because not being able to find him when I type in his name, I get a table tennis player, and I feel like that's not the same guy. So that's making me feel like this could potentially be a layup for Jonas. Just because if you think about how the first fight played out for Jonas, there was a massive weight and expectation on Jonas Anand's shoulders in his debut fight because of who his brother is. His brother's champion, and Jonas Anand is a champion that's fought outside of one championship somewhere in Thailand. I don't even
Yeah.
know which organization it was, but I saw him with the belt. So there's a lot of this stuff like he's supposed to, be the guy and look good. And that fight, his debut fight, you have to give props to Jin Chao for taking it to Jonas in that fight. They're not making it an easy layup for him and making it a competitive draw. Because even Jonas and Nan didn't like his hand getting lifted up for the win. They gave him the win, but you could see in his face it was like, and I think that was just because maybe he wanted to finish. He wanted to have a highlight move to stamp his arrival, but like, I'm here. I'm the next Anand. You know what I mean? I'm the next one to take over. But it was kind of dampened by the performance. But I just feel like that could just be lights, bigger show, bigger stadium, bigger stage would have gotten to him, and we could see a better performance from Jonas in this one year. I also wouldn't be surprised if what's it, Wing, what's it, Wing Wang P. I wouldn't be surprised if he wins the fight. The WBC Muay Thai champion. There you go. I also wouldn't be surprised if he gets in the fight and wins because of the unknown. Because we've never seen this dude before, and you could upset upset the whole party here and actually beat Jonas, but I don't know. I got a feeling it's gonna be a layup for him, and it's gonna make people go, "Oh, Jonas, this is the Jonas now. This is the buzz. This is who he is." That's just my thoughts on the fight, but I can't really pick a winner.
Mm-mm. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, once again, if you do have any knowledge on Win Huang Fi, let us know in the comments, please. But yeah, somebody we do know a bit about is the hard-hitting Zhang Paiman. He's coming up against Rui Portello. To some numbers now, we'll see that Paiman is 21 years old. He's the former strawweight kickboxing champion. His record in one championship is 4-3-0, won by TKO. Last time out, losing to Sam A. Coming up against Rui Botello, who is 30 years old, 3-7-0, lost to JDB by unanimous decision in his last fight, and of course beat Zhang Paiman by split decision in the fight before that. So another rematch on the cards here, BG.
Mm.
More of the same, or do you foresee a different result here, bro?
Yeah, this is a great fight to have. Again, when I was talking about former champions, this is one of them. Another former champion in Zhang Paiman taking on Rui Botello. And yeah, that first fight was wild. I remember watching it live. I was laying in bed when I was watching it at the time. And I was like, how is Zhang gonna be able to land his big shots? Because you know what Zhang is, right? Paiman has got that. You said it is hard hitting. Loves the hooks when he's in close. Doesn't jab a lot. He does jab now and then. Those very good high kicks, good body shots. But mainly he wants to step in and then get into the pocket and start letting the hooks go. And that's what was working for him in this fight for a while. But then Patolo was smart to this, was able to avoid it by using his footwork, which is better than Zhang's. To be honest now, I think Zhang is a better boxer, primarily a better boxer. Maybe a better kicker, ever so slightly. They could be even there. But Patolo is faster than him. He's got more range than him, and he has better footwork. Like Patolo can move around really well, and can land like four jabs on you while moving left, while moving right, and then throw a right hand or throw four jabs and slips and throw something on you again. Attacks the calves a lot as well, which is what the key weapon was for him in that first fight. So there's a lot for Zhang that they had to correct to obviously when fighting Botolo, because there was a lot of holes exposed in his game when he fought Botolo. Granted, Zhang was only 20 years old at the time, I think 20 or 19 years old at the time. So um 2023, yeah, he's 21 years old now. So the dude was a child at the time when they fought. You know what I mean? So yeah, this is a much older Zhang Paiman. Is he going to be better this time? Has he made those significant changes? Because, in my opinion, the only thing he really had to change in that fight wasn't necessarily um, like he didn't have to change much. Like the boxing was working. But what he needs to do now is assert more lower half kicks instead of the high kick every time. 'Cause he loves the high kick and then he starts throwing block, high kick, then goes back into the boxing combinations. I want to see him attack the body more, attack the legs more. He needs to slow down the fighter that's faster than him. He has to, because if he doesn't do that, Botello's going to dance around him again and just make him miss a lot of the times again. So I think Zhang Paiman, he's going to have to be a bit more patient and not chase the head so much in this fight. Attack the legs from the outs, from the off. When the fight goes, ding, he touch gloves, bang, low kick, bang, low kick again. You make him know that you're chasing that legs. So he's gonna try and get on his bike immediately, and you just attack that legs. Because Zhang Paiman can take Botello's boxing shots. He can. Botello can't knock him out. He can't put him down. Zhang Paiman can take those shots. So I think if he can just be patient in that, and methodically break his opponent down. If he can take Botello down from round one, coach must tell him, you only hit the chest and the stomach, and you only hit the legs. You jab to the head. You jab to the head. But you only attack with your harder shots. You attack the body, attack the legs. Round two, you can rev it up a little bit more and maybe throw a couple of hooks to the body this time. Round three, once you get there, because they're going to go to a third round. I don't see an early finish in this fight. When you get into the third round, now you start banging the harder shots on him, because now he's going to be significantly slower, and the damage to his legs and body has now taken its toll on him. Now you can land the hooks to the head and start putting some bigger shots on him. Start biting down on that mouthpiece. Botello isn't the kind of guy that's going to go in there and bite on the mouthpiece immediately. He loves it on the outside. He loves to use his height advantage. He loves to move around a lot. That's the kind of fight style he's going to give you. So yeah, I'm going to go with Zhang Paiman to get the job done and to maybe even set up a rubber mat. A trilogy with him. But the split decision in the first fight is a reason why that happened, because they were evenly matched back then. But I expect Zhang to be a lot better than what he was, because that time he was 19 years old. So I'm expecting to be a lot better than what he was back then. But Patolo, he kind of hit the ceiling already. You know what I mean? He already got to where he was at. He fought the best guys already, and he hit the ceiling. You know what I'm saying? For Zhang Paiman, there's still 10 years to go, 10, 12 years to go for him. So he's only going to get better. So I expect Zhang to get the job done here.
Give thanks, brother Gaia. And speaking of lots to come and only going to get better, we've got 17-year-old Adam coming up against Toma Kuroda here. The 17-year-old is, of course, 1-1 in one championship, losing his last fight to Nayan Mohammed by second round TKO. Toma Kuroda is 27 years old, making his debut in one championship. His professional Muay Thai record is 15-3-0, and he's got 5 of those by KO. Sorry, where am I here? Okay,
You're
yeah,
right.
that's it. PG. Sorry, bro. Go ahead.
Yeah, this fight is. I feel a bit weird about it, AD. Just because it feels like it's a layup or a set up for Toma Kuroda to get the job done. Just because he's come out of K1, he's fought there. I think he won a Grand Prix there before. On a good streak at the moment. I think he's on a 6-fight win streak, if I'm not mistaken. Right? If you haven't seen him before, I can give you an image to think of. AD. Think about Taiki Naito
Mm.
fighting atomweight, not in flyweight. Very similar build, very similar style. Just southpaw instead of orthodox. Very, very similar style. Um, I just feel like they could have given this if they wanted to give Toma Kuroda a good opponent to debut in against. Not a 17-year-old Adam. You know what I mean? They could have given him again, give him pitch, bro. Give him Nayan. Nayan knocked Adam out in the second round. You know what I mean? So he had more time to recover because he wasn't even knocked out. You could have given him the fight against, and I feel like it would have been a better fight because I just don't know if Adam's going to get the job done here. It's not even Muay Thai, it's kickboxing as well. So it's going to favor the older guy. I mean, Kuroda is 27 years old. You know what I mean? He's fought around the block already. He's got a lot of experience. He's got the battle scars to prove it. His body's knows what it's like to be punched a lot of times. Adam is young, bro. I know he's been fighting. I know the buzz, but I mean, he's only 17 years old, man. There's a 10-year gap between the two guys here. um, I want Adam to win, but I just don't know if he's gonna win. I don't know. However, I will add this in there. I've watched Toma Kuroda's fights. I spent the day looking at his fights. I went to go check him out. In K1, I've watched what his buzz is all about. He's not that devastating. He really isn't. He's got majority of his fights are won by decision because he's a fight that plays it safe. He loves to play it safe. When he goes forward and he wants to knock you out or get the finish, he relies on knees. It's a stepping knee. You know what I mean? He doesn't go in there and land like devastating punches. His punches come with velocity and speed, but they don't come with a lot of power. Um, and a lot of his KOs that come from knees. He knees an opponent and then they go down and then he TKOs them. You know what I mean? So I think Adam may still have a chance here, but it's looking like it should go in Kuroda's favor here. It looks like he should win the fight by far. With the experience, with the age, with the just being fighting for so long, he should, and also it's kickboxing. It's not in Muay Thai, which should have favored Adam if it was. Um, so I'm hoping Adam wins, but I don't know. I think Kurodi will win the fight on decision, just by utilizing his experience here.
Thank you, brother Gaia. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, if you have any thoughts, let us know in the comment section. Drop a like on the video as we go to the opening bout on the card, and this one is going to close the card out for us quite nicely. It's Enzo Clarice, 21 years old, 2-1 in one championship. He's got 1 by KO on a 2-fight streak. Last time out beating Padishuk by second round KO. He's coming up against Jirai Ishii, who is 20 years old, undefeated in one championship at 3-0, 2 by KO, 3-fight streak. Beat Har Ling Om by third round KO in his last fight, brother Gaia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this is also a very fun fight to watch. I'm actually hyped for it, and it's the opening fight. Oh, I can't wait, bruh. I am a big fan of Jirai Ishii. Very much a big fan of him. I like his buzz. I like his style. I like the assassin-like nature that he has. He's like a killer, bruh, and he does it quietly. Doesn't just smile. Doesn't crack jokes with nobody. Goes in there. Goes to war with his opponents because it's not like he's getting first round KOs. You know what I mean? He's knocking people out in the later rounds, like round 2s, round 3s. I say later rounds because I'm usually only in 3 rounds in the fight, but in Muay Thai here. But I'm a believer that Jirai Ishii does his best work in the fight goes later, not in the beginning. In the beginning is like he does well in the beginning, but that's like with him just settling in. But when you see round 2 and round 3 goes, you're like, yo, where was this coming from? Like, where did he find this bag of tricks from? You know what I'm saying? The high kicks, the elbows, the way that he throws stuff, the way he sets up, the elusive nature. And again, like his biggest strength for me is his composure in fights. He never really looks like he's the moment is too big for him. He's always got his eyes on the prize. And he knows what he needs to do, and that's why he gets the job done. Enzo, on the other hand, okay, he got the KO in his last fight against Padajik, and we watched his fight together as well. But Enzo is more like a firecracker. He's wild. He runs at you and jumping push kick, and he's just a wild dude. He throws very much wild exchanges in there. I don't know if that's the kind of fight style that's going to beat someone like Jirai Ishii. You know what I mean? Jirai Ishii is very, very technical, and he can brawl. He can freaking brawl. If you want to make it an ugly fight, the kid's gonna make it an ugly fight. He can do it. He showed me that in the 3 fights that I've watched him, the fight against Hardeling fight against Jonas Munin, and Satoshi. All 3 of those fights were different. You know what I mean? It wasn't like there's a pattern. Like, for example, who was that other guy that Hiroki Nauro? 4 fights, 4 KOs, right? His last fight, he got KO'd. But in his 4 fights, they were all first round KOs. So you saw what he was going to do. He was going to walk in there, niche, win. What happened when he couldn't niche the opponent and he had to go to the second round? What happened to him? He was so tired, so gassed. He had no defense. He had nothing. It was the first time we've seen him in the next round. Jirai Ishii is not that. Jirai Ishii can brawl with you, but he's so technical with it. No wasted energy, no wasted movement. Doesn't throw out lazy jabs. Doesn't just throw a kick for no reason. He's very, very selective and he chooses when and how to do things. And for me, that's how he's going to get Enzo out of there. Because Enzo's going to come in there and swing wild and make it he's going to try and beat one on the front foot. But he's going to realize very quickly that he can't just do that. Because Jirai Ishii is too sharp. He's way too sharp for stuff like that. So I'm going to go Jirai Ishii for the win. There's not a big discrepancy in age, which is phenomenal. So that means I think Jirai Ishii is matched up with someone that's equal in terms of his size, in terms of body and age. So I'm going to go Jirai Ishii for the win here. He's going to take it to 4-fight win streak, and then he's going to get another finish here again. Possibly second round. I'm going to say second round KO for Jirai Ishii.
Let's go another Japanese Muay Thai fighter to keep your eyes on there, ladies and gentlemen. But Brother Gaia, we are now going to go to some final thoughts as well as a pre-fight rating for the card. Is this a 9.5 or a 10, bro?
I'm gonna start at a 9.5. The 0.5 that's missing is because we have a fighter that could potentially be a professional table tennis player. For me, that brings the point down. But other than that, in a whole, it's a sold out crowd. A sold out card. Excuse me. For the first time, it's a sold out card. So I'm gonna go with a 9.5.
I think that's fair, yeah. Fair score. I'm going to go 9.5 as well, ladies and gentlemen. Let us know your pre-fight score in the comment section. But if you have made it this far, please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. Brother Guy is going to tell you about the new content.
I watch your podcast every day. Joe Rogan.
Let's go.
Joe Rogan.
Let's go. Super hyped. I know I said when I did the video yesterday that we're gonna do a new segment on Thursday this time and not today. So that's what we're gonna do. So tomorrow, what you can expect on Wednesday is a UFC preview for the Carlos Ulberg taking on Dominic Reyes. We'll do a nice preview for that one. A little bit of UFC news as well to chat about. And then Thursday, like I mentioned just a moment ago, we will be releasing the One Championship news segment, which was supposed to be today, but we're going to do that on Thursday. And then lastly, stay tuned for our live watch along of One Friday Fights 126. Oh, we can't wait. It's alive. It's going to be a massive fight card, and we hope to see all of you there. So on that note, from myself and this is the Fighting with Friends team, have a very, very good week and hope to see you guys in that live on Friday. Have a good one. Cheers. Babe, have you seen the